I'm Cheryl.
And I'm Maria.
Welcome to the Sewing Room channel.
We almost got it right.
Yeah, almost.
Well, anyways, my husband and I are expecting a baby boy this October, so just in a few weeks. We're very excited.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The whole family's pretty excited.
Yeah.
And this is going to be our first Christmas with a baby in the family. So even more reason to have a really festive celebration at the end of the year. So I requested that my mom make some little Christmas baby bibs.
Yes, and they're really easy. I'm going to show you two different bibs. How to make this little baby scarf bandana. Now this is tiny, but this is for a newborn, but you can make it any size you want. I'm also going to show you how to make this round baby bib that also ties. So let's get started. You'll need the following supplies. I'm using flannel fabric. This is the Snuggle brand of fabric that I purchased at Joann Fabrics and Crafts. So you'll need 1/4 yard. You'll also need about 1.5 yards of bias tape. Leave the back sides of your fabric together. Oh, and you're cutting out 2 8-inch squares. And again, leave the back sides of the fabric together. I'm using a round bowl. It's about 7.5 inch in diameter. This way, lay it down on your fabric. And you can either draw around it and then cut it out, or like I do, I like to just take my rotary cutter and cut around the bowl. It's much faster. Take this edge of your bowl right here and place it about 1 inch from this top edge here of the bib, and you're going to cut out the neckline area. Place pins around the edges, then do a machine basting stitch around all of the edges. Unfold your bias tape and put the raw edge starting on the back of your bib. So if you're using 2 different fabrics, make sure you place this on the back side first and pin it down. And continue pinning all the way around. On your bias tape, there's that fold line right here. So you're going to stitch on that fold line all the way around. And if you're new at sewing, you want to turn your fabric slowly as you stitch along there. Now fold the bias tape over to the front side. Now you can either pin it down or hold it in place. Make sure you pull the folded edge past your stitch line right here. Now I'm not going to pin it, I'm just going to hold it down. Cut a piece of bias tape anywhere from 30 to 34 inches. It depends on the age of the baby. If it's a newborn, you may want to stick to 30 inches. If it's an older baby, then of course go longer. So take your bias tape and fold it in half to find the center. All right, so here we go. So here's my center at the fold. Take it and place that fold right there in the center of the bib here. Then unfold your bias tape and unfold it all the way, and again pin it down around the neckline of the bib. Make sure you stitch on that inside folded line like you did on the other piece of bias tape, and stitch slowly around. Take your bias tape and fold it over to the front and pin it down just like you did before. Make sure that folded edge is past your stitch line. At each end of the bias tape, fold it over about 1/4 of an inch like that, and then fold it back in half. And then stitch across the end of it, and then stitch along this edge here all the way around. When you get to the other end of the bias tape, do the same thing. Fold it over 1/4 of an inch. Here it is, it's all done. Isn't that cute? If you want to use terry cloth for the bib, you can buy these little washcloths at Walmart for 47 cents. And I decided to do some embroidery on it. Now, I'm not going to show you how to do embroidery, but if you do have an embroidery machine, don't forget you can embroidery certain little Christmas sayings on them. So this fit inside of my small embroidery hoop. So I made this same bib pattern, and this one says, "My First Christmas." So these are just suggestions. Here's one that said, "Let it snow." I wanted to use white bias tape, but I couldn't find any. Everyone is using bias tape for making masks. So just use whatever you can find to make these masks. And then this one I love the most, "Ho, ho, ho." So remember, if you have an embroidery machine, don't forget you can do this on this same bib pattern. And I will have a video in the near future on how to do some simple embroidery stitches like this. All you need for this bandana bib is 1 square of flannel fabric that is 11 inches square, 11 by 11. You'll also need 1 square that's about 1 inches of Velcro, or if you'd rather have little snaps that you can buy, I believe one of the manufacturers is Dritz, and you should be able to get that in the notion section of your fabric store. So have your fabric turned like this, place your ruler going corner to corner, and cut it right down the center. Then bring front sides together and put your ruler right here at this center point again, and you're going to mark the center of this bandana up at the top, right here like that. Then place your ruler, and this mark should be roughly a 1/2 inch, about a 1/2 inch, this little mark here. Place the ruler in this corner and up against the bottom of that mark and cut it. And then turn it this way and cut it from this side. And you're just cutting a little dip so that it goes around the baby's neck a lot easier. Place pins all around the edge. You're going to leave a small opening here that you can turn it front side out later. On each side of the opening, make sure you do back stitches. Stitch 1/4 inch seam around here. When you get to the corners down here, you're going to stop at about 1/4 inch away from the corner. Leave your needle down through your fabric, turn your bib, and then continue stitching. And always leave your corner down, your needle down through the fabric when you come to corners. And remember, back stitch here also. Before you turn it front side out, you need to trim some of the corner fabric off. So leave at least 1/8 inch of fabric. So I cut across that way first. Take a little bit off on each side. And again, do that at all 3 corners. Now reach inside the opening and begin to turn it front side out. Take something somewhat pointed, not too sharp, don't use your scissors. Reach inside and begin to gently poke your corners out. Now don't poke so hard that you put a hole in your fabric. Now take the edges at the opening and fold it inside 1/4 inch and place pins to hold. Then after you've pinned all the way across the opening, you're going to stitch around all 3 edges and stitch close to the fold line all the way around. Take your Velcro and at one end put one of the squares of Velcro and then place the other side on the opposite side. So this one here is on either front or back side. The other one is just opposite. Place it at the other end. And you're just stitching around the outer edge. And I recommend you go around about 2 times. And then when it's on the baby, you just fold it over like that. Now this is for a very tiny baby. So if you're making these for a larger baby, I would increase your measurements anywhere from maybe 1 to 2 more inches, maybe even a little more, depending on the size of the baby. Well, I hope you enjoy making these baby bibs. It's a really quick and fast last-minute Christmas gift. Whether you're having a baby yourself or maybe you can make it for a friend or another family member.
And don't forget to follow us on Instagram at the Sewing Room channel and check out our Facebook page.
Happy sewing! I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, would you please click on the thumbs up button and don't forget to click on share to share this video with your friends. If you haven't subscribed yet, click on that red subscribe button down there in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. And don't forget to click on the bell and enter your email address so you receive email notifications about my latest video. I'm Cheryl and this is Manny. See you next time and happy sewing!